Thesis Defense. Beginner's Guide to Conduct Research. A thesis defense is an oral presentation and discussion of a thesis study. In simple words, a thesis defense is a defense presents evidence for a thesis. The purpose of a thesis defense is to prove that you have mastered your subject and can be considered as a knowledgeable expert in your field, and committee is to make sure that you actually understand your field and focus area, and thereby allowing you to graduate successfully. The thesis must be defended in a formal meeting to be attended by all members of the committee, in place or virtually. Format and length of thesis defense is based on 20 minutes max. Introduction and background, including highlights, if any, from Lit Review 1 to 2 minute, Research Question 1 minute, Research Design and Methods 5 minute, Data Sources and Selection, Findings, 10 minutes. This should be your main focus. Recommendations and Implications, 1 to 5 minute, and Summary and Conclusion, 1 to 2 minute. The candidate will provide the chair with a draft of the thesis PowerPoint presentation at least 14 days prior to the thesis defense. The main focus of thesis defense is on the main point of your work and present only the most weighty arguments in order to prove that you have mastered your subject and can be considered as a knowledgeable expert in your respective field. Once the supervisor or co-supervisor and all committee members agree that the thesis is ready for defense, it must be reviewed and approved by the associate head, graduate. In short, a thesis defense is a significant event in a graduate student's journey towards getting a higher degree. The candidate will provide the chair with a draft of the thesis PowerPoint presentation at least 14 days prior to the thesis defense. The main focus of thesis defense is on the main point of your work and present only the most weighty arguments in order to prove that you have mastered your subject and can be considered as a knowledgeable expert in your respective field. Once the supervisor or co-supervisor and all committee members agree that the thesis is ready for defense, it must be reviewed and approved by the associate head, graduate. In short, a thesis defense is a significant event in a graduate student's journey towards getting a higher degree. There are 40 thesis defense questions. Number 1 thesis defense question is, what is your research study all about? Number 2 thesis defense question is, why did you choose this study? Number 3 thesis defense question is, why did you choose this particular title for your research? Number 4 thesis defense question is, what is the scope of your study? Number 5 thesis defense question is, what phenomenon were you trying to understand with this research? Number 6 thesis defense question is, who will be most interested in your research? Number 7 thesis defense question is, did your research questions evolve during the process? If so, how? Number 8 thesis defense question is, what gaps did you intend to bridge with your research? Number 9 thesis defense question is, why is your research significant? Number 10 thesis defense question is, what did you find in your research? Number 11 thesis defense question is, what research findings surprised you? Number 12 thesis defense question is, what is the validity of your findings? Available. Number 13 thesis defense question is, why did you choose this research methodology? Number 14 thesis defense question is, what sources did you use for data collection? Number 15 thesis defense question is, how can your research be put into practice? Number 16 thesis defense question is, how will your findings contribute to the related area of knowledge? Number 17 thesis defense question is, did you experience any limitations in your research? Number 18 thesis defense question is, what sampling techniques did you use? Number 19 thesis defense question is, what are the dependent and independent variables in your research? Number 20 thesis defense question is, what areas do you suggest for further research? Number 21 thesis defense question is, how did you deal with ethical implications of your work? Number 22 thesis defense question is, what is the strongest point in your research? Number 23 thesis defense question is, why do you think your research is reliable? Number 24 thesis defense question is, do your findings relate to existing literature? Number 25 thesis defense question is, do you think there might be some biases existing in your research? Number 26 thesis defense question is, what are your recommendations after your research? Number 27 thesis defense question is, what are the statistical tools used by you? Number 28 thesis defense question is, describe the sample population for your research. Number 29 thesis defense question is, what are the ways in which your findings can be put into practice? Number 30 thesis defense question is, if you would redo your research, what would you do differently? Number 31 thesis defense question is, what is the relevance of your work to other researchers? Number 32 thesis defense question is, what are the major issues in your subject areas? Number 33 thesis defense question is, do you think your research is correct? Number 34 thesis defense question is, what approach did you choose for your research? Number 35 thesis defense question is, what does your study change in your subject area? Number 36 thesis defense question is, how do your research contributions generalize? Number 37 thesis defense question is, what uses does your research hold for policymakers? Number 38 thesis defense question is, what is your procedure for qualitative analysis in your research? Number 39 thesis defense question is, what was your process for standard measurements? Number 40 thesis defense question is, do you have any closing comments? Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel Thesis Helper. Thanks for watching.